what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for Mad Max Fury Road. Yeah, it's here. It's finally here. After 30 years. 30 years of no Mad Max, we finally got a brand new one. It's been 30 years since Beyond Thunderdome. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see the movie in theaters. I wasn't freaking born yet. I was -5 at that point in my life. But, oh, man. I love those movies. I love Beyond Thunderdome. I don't care what anyone says. I love Thunderdome. I love the first two. They're fantastic films. I love them all. I don't care. They are just amazing masterpieces of action and just sight, I would say, because there's just so much in that movie to look at. Just the stunts, just the acting, just the crazy, insane characters, the clever writing. I personally think the writing in the Mad Max movies are very clever, especially in the second one, because there's so many really quotable, really fun lines in that movie. I love all of the Mad Max films. Who runs Bata Town? Master Blaster runs Bata Town. I love the Mad Max movies. I love them! And that was the third one, by the way. Master and Blaster, two of the best characters ever. Well, maybe not, but still, I love these movies. So when I heard a new one was finally being developed, it was going to be Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, or Theron, or whatever the hell you say her last name, Nicholas Hoult, who I really like. All those people were going to be in this movie. They're even going to bring back the original villain of Mad Max, Toe Cutter, and they're going to put him in this movie as the new villain of Morton Joe. I was like, oh man. And they got the freaking original director, George Miller, who's been trying to make this film for the last like 15, 20 years. Yo. I was excited. And then the first trailer, the first footage came out last year. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, man. I was just Mad Max back. But no, really. I was excited. So, what did I think of Mad Max Fury Road, the movie that finally came out? The movie that I have been waiting for a very long time. Let's find out. This movie sucked. This movie sucked. That movie sucked. Get that out of here. Get it out. Now, Mad Max Fury Road. That was for George Miller. Don't accept it. That was for George Miller. If you're watching George Miller, don't know why you would. You're probably not watching. But thank you. This movie blew my mind. It is 2 hours, and I am not kidding. It is 2 hours of pure, unadulterated, almost non-existent CG, just straight up stuntman practical action. It is a chaotic, cinematic masterpiece of just chaos, madness, insanity, and just downright brilliance. This movie is not only the best movie of this year, it is one of the best movies of all time. I thought this was incredible. Now, maybe I'm saying that a little bit too prematurely because I have seen the movie. Okay, I just saw it. I loved it, obviously. But usually I have to watch a movie a couple times more until I could say that it's one of my favorite films of all time. Some people maybe not. Some people just go out of there and going, "Wow, sure love that movie. I love this in my top 5 of forever." But this one, no. I don't need to see it again. I'm going to. I don't need to see it again. What I saw captivated me so much. I never took my eyes off the screen, even if there was something going on, a fire going on in the background. There might have been. I don't even know. I don't care. My butt in the seat, my eyes on the screen. I was just watching it throughout. Nothing captivated my attention more than that screen. And I can't say that for a lot of movies. Even Avengers, there was times where I was like getting a little bored. I was like, oh, something awesome. This movie entirely, everything was awesome. Every single screen of this movie, I'm talking about every frame. Like, if you just like pause this movie, it would be gorgeous to look at, even if it's not like colorful, vibrant colors and stuff. That isn't something that me myself was looking for in a Mad Max film. I was looking for desolate deserts and destruction, very not bright and colorful colors, very muted grays and like and browns and maybe even some blues in there, but not really the ooh, that looks nice blue, more like a oh, something's gonna go down blue. Like, there's a whole night scene in this film that is like, it looks really gorgeous, but not in the typical sense of gorgeous, where it's like, oh, look all the colors and look at the cinematography, it's so beautiful. The cinematography is amazing, but it's not beautiful. It just feels very hopeless. The whole movie feels very hopeless, but in a good way. Every screen of this film, every frame, you could pause it at any second and you'll be like, that, I want to hang that on my wall. This movie is gorgeous, and you could just feel the love and attention to detail that George Miller and all the writers and all the actors and everybody, even the producers, everybody put into this film. Every single dollar they put in this film, you could tell was from love, and I could not be happier with this film. Now, let me back it up a little bit, because I've been talking so much about the film, I forgot I should actually explain what the story is about. Now, the story is a semi-reboot in a way, because they don't really talk about a lot of the scenes that, or things that happened in the past Mad Max films. From what I've heard, this is supposed to take place in between the second and third one, which I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's just a reboot or it's actually in between those films. I'm not completely sure. I probably should have did research, but I'm not sure. I just wanted to talk about this film. But anyway, the story here follows Mad Max, played by Tom Hardy this time, or Max Rokitansky, who had a very, very sad past. If you've seen the first film, you know what happened. I'm not going to tell you what happened to his past, but let's just say he's a loner now. He's a guy that just is kind of crazy. He's crazy, but in a pent-up, like, not taking it out on the world sort of way. That's why he's a loner, because he is crazy, but he's not like everybody else who's like crazy and goes blah and then has a fire guitar or something like that. Nothing crazy like that. He's just a guy that's like, just has a lot of anger built up and a lot of just madness in his head. So it follows him in the beginning, and he's being chased down by a group of bandits who capture him and use him as a blood siphon, like pretty much a blood or a human battery in a way. The whole movie is pretty much Mad Max. He breaks out of that, and he has to reluctantly help this woman, Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron. I might be saying her last name wrong, I'm not sure, but I've always said Theron, so I'm going to keep saying it like that. It's probably Theron, but it's Theron to me. Sorry, babe. I know she's watching. But anyway, he has to reluctantly help her and a bunch of other women who are actually the property of Immortan Joe. Breeders is what they call them, because he does the thing and then they shoot out the baby. So, of course, Immortan Joe is chasing after Mad Max and everybody else. Mad Max reluctantly helps Furiosa and all the other girls to go to a certain place that's safe. And the whole movie is just pretty much a whole chase scene where it's just cars, explosions, something gets thrown, something explodes, Mad Max shoots a couple things, boom, boom, boom. But it's amazing. I know I made it sound stupid, but it's amazing. Trust me. I mean, I don't really have much else to say about this film. I've already told you that the movie itself is gorgeous, and like you could pause it at any frame, and it looks absolutely incredible. The cinematography is just wow, it's amazing. Some of the best cinematography for any action movie of all time. It even tops, in my opinion, the first two Mad Max films, and it tops the third one too, but that one's a little bit more Hollywoodish, if that makes sense, more blockbustery, for 1985. They didn't have a huge budget, but that was closer to like when Die Hard came out. It was more action-packed and Hollywoodish. So this movie definitely topped those movies in cinematography and in action. Of course, he had a bigger budget here. He had like $150 million budget, and it definitely shows. When they had to use CG in parts where obviously like people were getting flown against like cars and stuff, and people getting ran over, and cars exploding. There's a whole part in a sandstorm. That stuff is obviously like CG'd, but it looks really, really good. And man, the practical effects and the stunt work and all the cars exploding and stuff, and just in different unique ways, just so many different things they did in just a barren wasteland that they just did an incredible job. The action, like you wouldn't figure that the action would have so much variety, considering that it's all in a wasteland and a bunch of cars. That's really it. But there's so much variety in the action, and there is a shit ton of variety. I mean, action and variety. I guess that makes sense too. But it's just an action-packed thrill ride throughout. And do not get me wrong, you do not lose character in this film. The characterization in this film, you don't get to know too much about everybody. You don't really get to know too much about a lot of the people. Like, you get to know what Furiosa is about, that she's always wanted to do this. She wanted to get these girls out of there. She wanted to go to this place called the Greenland, which is this safe place that she's been to when she was a kid. You know that. You know her goal, and you know that she is a good person. She wants to just get these girls and herself out of there because she's so tired of Morton Joe and all that stuff. You get to know her, and she in a way is like the main character of this film, and she is a great character, and Charlize Theron did an amazing job here. She's great. You get to know Max. I mean, if you've seen the other 3 films, then you get to know him as a father and as a husband, and you get to know him as a warrior of the wasteland before this movie even. A lot of the time, Tom Hardy's character, Mad Max, is just kidnapped. He's just like being tortured in a way in the beginning. So when he gets to break free and actually starts whooping some ass, it's really, really, really captivating. Now, everybody else is great. Nicholas Hoult is great as Nux. He's actually a really interesting character. He starts off as one of the crazy guys that would commit suicide for a Morton Joe, but then later on he actually grows a consciousness. And I like that throughout the film he is actually pale white in the beginning because of all the paint, and then as he slowly starts getting less and less crazy, the paint starts to be lost more and more, and you can actually see more human features on his face and stuff. Because when he's pale white, he has cracked lips and stuff. He looks gross. But later on, he actually starts seeming more and more human, which I thought was really good. That was really, really clever way of showing him progressing back into what used to be humanity in a way. And I thought he was great in the film. I thought he was really good, and I really like that guy. I want to see him in more stuff, and I would really like to see him as the next Spider-Man, but that's not going to happen, it doesn't look like, especially since he's in X-Men, so I guess that really can't happen. So I'm really, really, really happy with how this movie turned out. The only problem I have is that it was over. When it ended, I was like, oh no, we might not get another Mad Max movie because this might bomb. Please, look at me. Look at me. If you do not want to see this film because you're just like, oh, I only watch stuff with Iron Man in it, don't. Go see this film. That was me smacking you. Don't think like that. Go see this film. Know what you're expecting. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff in this film, but it's really, really fun and funny. The movie is funny. It's meant to be funny. Don't go in the movie going, this movie's ridiculous. What a terrible film. I'm going to laugh at it. Don't do that. Okay? The movie is meant to be funny. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be really, really campy at times, but in a really good way. It's amazing. I highly recommend this film. Do I even need to say what I'm going to give the movie? 40 out of 40. It's perfect. I love this film. I have no real problems. The only other problem I can think of is maybe Mad Max. I wanted to see more of Mad Max car, his signature car. See, I'm the Interceptor. I wanted to see more of that. You see in the beginning, and then he wrecks because he gets captured, and you never really see it again. You see it maybe a little bit later on, but you don't see him driving it. And that's such a signature of Mad Max, that car. And I wanted to see him in it more. That's the only problem I have. A freaking car. That's it. That's my problem. A car. It is a good movie, okay? I highly recommend it. So there you go. That's my review for Mad Max Fury Road. I'm going to go see it again. I love this film. Every single moment of this film made me happy. Every action scene. Everything was so well done. That's it. That's all I got. I could say more. I could easily keep talking about each scene and stuff, but you know what? I don't want to talk about specific scenes. I want you to go see it. You need to see it. If you've seen it already, I'm still not going to talk about the scenes. Just go see it again. You have to go see it again. Support this. Support this, unlike what happened with Edge of Tomorrow and Pacific Rim. Even though Pacific Rim's getting a sequel, it still didn't do that well at the box office, and Edge of Tomorrow didn't either. This should not be the next Edge of Tomorrow. This should be the next... it's not going to be in the next Avengers, but let's say it should be the next, I don't know, Godzilla, where that movie made a little bit more than anybody else thought. So please make this successful. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice and I'm losing my words. Just go see it, please. Go see this movie. So anyway, there you go. That's my review for Mad Max Fury Road. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and goodbye.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!